welcome to Open Studio. I'm your host, Celeste Florence, and today we'll be chatting to the awesome Sia, who will be telling us more about the organization called James House and what they are more about. So, Sia, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that smile, Sia. Would you like to introduce yourselves to the viewers out there?
Good morning, Celeste, and good morning to your viewers at home. My name is Sia, originally from the Eastern Cape. I was born and bred in the Eastern Cape. About 10 years ago, I came to Cape Town. I currently live in Hout Bay.
In Hout Bay.
Yes.
Okay, nice, Sia. Would you like to tell us more about the James House organization?
Okay, so James House is now 33 years in existence. Started off as a soup kitchen.
Yes.
So there was a call from the community because there were lots of kids that were roaming around the streets of Hout Bay. These kids would be neglected kids or either abandoned kids or whatever the cases may be.
Yes, yes.
So this group of church ladies decided to start off as a soup kitchen.
Oh, I see.
But then that it was not enough, you
Yes.
know, so they tried to build a house for these kids. So the first boy that received the services
Yes,
in the
yes.
house, his name was James. So the house was named after him.
After him.
So obviously over the years, the organization has grew from strength to strength.
Yes.
We now have about 9 projects that we run. So we've got 2 programs. It's actually 3 programs.
Yes.
One is the Isibindi program, which is a Zulu name, that means courage. And the second program is the BEST program, which means building emotionally strong teens. And we also have our training component.
Yes, yes.
So I will just tell you a little bit about the Isibindi program.
Okay.
So we're working in the community of Imizamo Yetu
Yes.
and the Hangbeck area, which is in Hout Bay.
Okay.
So the Hangbeck area is a fishing village just at the
Oh.
end of Hout Bay.
Yes.
So Imizamo Yetu is just when you're coming from Constantia. It's just nested on your left
Okay.
as you go into the village. So what happens on these communities, on each community we have 12 qualified child and youth care workers. What they do, they go early mornings into these families just to make sure that the child is well groomed before they can go into school. So we work with families that are affected and infected with HIV and AIDS. So we help assist these families, for example, with their birth certificates so that the child can be able to be admitted into school. So we actually advocate for these families. So we also help them with their clinic visits, for example, to get their medications. We also help with their, for example, if they've got to attend some court visits.
Yes,
So we
yes.
advocate for these. So we also have got a program in the school. After the home visits, they will then
Yes.
go into the school in the afternoon. We've got what we call Safe Park,
Yeah.
where the kids come after school they will give them a meal.
Oh, okay.
And then after they've had a meal, we help them with their homework, which we call homework support. We also do sports activities, we do arts and craft, we do a variety of activities.
Okay,
Because
I
most of these kids, their caregivers is either out looking for work and there's no older person that will
Yes,
look after
yes.
them during this time period. So that's why we keep them, say, from 2:30 till 4 o'clock. So their older siblings, either they are in the high school or whatever the case may be, then
Yes.
at least there's someone that
To
will
look
look after them after the school. Because that's where you'll find out they get into mischief behaviors.
Yes,
So that's why we
definitely.
keep them in that space for that time.
Wow.
So that is our Isibindi program in a nutshell.
Yes.
And also we've got the BEST program, as I
Yes,
said
yes.
before. So the BEST program, we're working in the 5 schools. We are in Moravian Primary School, which is in Imizamo Yetu,
Okay.
Sentinel Primary School, which is in Hangbeck. We're also in the West Coast, which is
Yes.
about 4 hours drive from Cape Town,
Oh,
in Vredendal. So we are in Vredendal North Primary School, and we are also in Vergenoeg Primary School. So the BEST program is a very specialized program. It's a very therapeutic program. So we have got 2 intakes per year,
Yes.
10 boys and 10 girls between the ages of 11 and 16 years.
Okay.
So these boys and girls, these are your boys and girls that are given names.
Oh,
You
I
are
see.
naughty, you are silly. Because a teacher works with about 30 plus children in one classroom. So
Yes.
this one child will be disruptive in class. So what they normally do, they will chase a child out of the
Yes,
class.
yes.
So these boys and girls are referred to us by the school, by the teachers, by the stakeholders that we have in the community, by the community leaders. So we say, okay, give these boys and girls to us,
Yes.
and then we'll see,
And you will-
we'll work on them.
Yes, yes.
As I said, the best program is the 18-month program, but the first 6 months is very therapeutic. It's very intense, very robust in your face. So what normally happens, they will come for interviews for the first phase. Then the child would then commit themselves into the program. They will sign an indemnity form to say, okay, I'm committing myself into this program. It is a voluntary program. We don't force anyone to come into the program. So the caregivers will also sign an indemnity form to say, okay, they also commit themselves into the program.
Yes.
So we've got a community worker, we've got a school liaison officer, and we've got the counselor.
Yes.
So what the school liaison officer does, they are based in the school, and the community worker does home visits.
Oh,
So we would assess what is happening at home,
yes.
and then the community worker will do home visit, do all the assessments at home,
Yes.
and then the school liaison officer will then look how the child's behavior is at the school.
And the
Then
progress,
all that information will then be handed over to the counselor. Then the counselor will then individual sessions with the child, and then they will do group therapy sessions
Yes.
with each boys and girls. We don't do it together, we do it separately. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so after the interviews process has been done, we take them away for a weekend, for a camp. So it's very a robust kind of approach.
Yes.
That's whereby we want them to show us why they're behaving the way they're behaving. So we give them an opportunity for a child. If they want to cry, we give them that opportunity. If the child wants to swear, we give them that opportunity.
Okay.
So there's lots of activities that we do during this weekend. Normally the children would hate us
Oh,
on a
see,
Friday
yes.
and on the Saturday because it's very intense, obviously. Also, sometimes it will trigger our own demons as well.
Yes,
But
definitely.
what's so nice about it, will go through the same process
Yes,
before the children arrive into the campsite. So it's actually a nice experience
Yes, yes.
when you've gone through the same process that the children gone through. But on a Sunday, the children don't want to leave the campsite because
Oh.
we've treated them
Yes,
so nice
yes,
that
yes.
they enjoyed themselves.
Definitely.
So after the camp,
Yes.
then the whole work starts for the 6 months, and then after 6 months for the 18 months, then we do 12 months,
Yes,
because it's
yes.
an 18-month program.
Okay.
Then the 12 months is what we call the aftercare. They still receive services, but not
Yes.
so intense as the 6
Oh, I
months.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it sounds very inspiring
Mm.
and very interesting. And I can imagine how after the camp it then becomes a home now for the children.
Yes.
And it's not just about the camp and
Correct.
stuff. But thank you for that information, Sia. We'll be off to a quick break. For those who have just tuned in, we are chatting to lovely guest Sia, who is telling us more about the House of James. So please do stay tuned. This might just be for you. Welcome on Open Studio. We're chatting to our lovely guest Sia, who is telling us more about the James House. So Sia, as you've mentioned earlier, you spoke more about the organization and the camps, the different projects that you have, and the reason for you starting the organization. So Sia, as we continue with our conversation, tell me, why did you decide to join this organization?
Sure. That's not an easy question to answer.
I can imagine.
Started off as an unpaid intern
Yes.
at James House. I think I felt in love with what they were doing,
Yes.
because to me it's not about earning a salary, working in a corporate world where you need to just do your job and then you leave 8 to
Yes.
5. Because James House they sort of different,
Yes.
because it's not about doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's about community development, changing that to one person's life.
Okay.
That's what I thought it inspired me
Definitely.
to be part of the James House family.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
very inspiring. And tell me, your kids, is that the only age group that you do have? Is it from 11 to 16?
No,
or is
so
it
we work with kids from the age of 0
Oh,
to
from
18 years, yes, because
Oh,
from
okay.
our ICBD program, we don't have specific kids that we work with. We
Yes.
start from 0 to 18 years. So I also forgot to mention another program that we
Yes.
have. It's called Youth Development Academy. In
Okay.
this program, we work with only girls from ages of 11 years, sorry, from 16 years
Yes, yes.
to 25 years. So these girls, they are either school dropouts or
Okay.
they finish their matric and don't have means to continue their studies, or they just want to do some kind of work.
Yes, yes.
So what we do, we take them in. Obviously, there's a recruitment process, and they do interviews to see if they fit the criteria of the project. And then what we do, we teach them life skills.
Okay.
We do, for example, we take them out for in the university for open days. We do interview readiness,
Yes,
job
yes.
readiness. We teach them how to dress well for an interview.
Nice.
You know, we teach them soft skills, how to conduct yourself in public, such things. So
Yes,
yeah, that is one of the programs that we also have. So we also have different projects that we have under the one umbrella of James House. For example, we've got the Gogos project.
Gogos.
Yes.
Okay.
So Gogos grandmothers,
grandmothers,
obviously. Yeah.
okay.
So obviously the teenage pregnancy is a big thing in
Yes.
Hout Bay. So what normally happens, these youngsters will leave their children with their grandmothers.
Yes,
So the grandmothers end up looking after the grandchildren.
yeah.
So we find out from the research that we've conducted that these Gogos are actually frustrated, and they at times they don't have means to support their grandchildren.
Yes.
Also, that's why we came up with this project called the Gogos. So what happens, the Gogos will come.
Yeah.
Some of them don't know how to go about to apply for social grants. So we support them with such things. So they will gather on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So what they do on Tuesdays, they will come to James House. They will work in the garden
Yes.
to plant some vegetables. And
Oh,
so what
wow.
happens when they harvest such things, then they will take it back home to cook for their grandchildren, whatever, which is fresh vegetables that we grow. So on Thursdays,
Yes.
what they do some beading work, they do some sewing.
Yes.
So that helps them to talk about all their frustrations and to learn from each other.
Yes.
So yeah, that's another project that we have. We also have got a project which is called ECD,
Yes.
whereby the mothers and children that have not been gotten space to be placed in the creches in the community.
Oh,
So
I
they
see.
come to us, and then our
Yes.
child and youth care workers will teach them how to play with their young ones and how to create toys
Yes,
from
yes.
paper, from plastic, such things. So we've got variety of projects that we do have in James
Yes.
House.
Wow.
So yeah.
That sounds phenomenal. I feel like I could possibly come join James House. Listen, and do you need any skills to join? If people who are watching would like to come and help at the James House, what do you need or how do you apply?
So look, as much as we would want to help everyone in the community,
Yes.
but the biggest challenge is always the skills, you know.
Okay.
So we require mostly volunteers,
Yes.
skilled volunteers, obviously. So if you are a retired teacher,
Yes.
a retired social worker,
Yes.
a retired psychologist, please get in touch with us, because we're always in need of such skills.
Okay.
For example, if you want to be part of us, you can just go through to our website,
Yes.
which is www.jameshouse.org.za, or you can drop me a line at sia@jameshouse.org.za, or you can go on our Facebook page, which is James House, or on our Twitter page, which is @JamesHouse_CYCC.
yes.
We're also on Instagram @JamesHouse1986.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
how you can
And
get in contact.
tell me, Sia, do you guys have any plans for the future for James House?
Obviously, we would want to help everyone, but
Yes.
unfortunately, because of the financial constraints that we would have. So
Indeed.
we would want to grow as an organization and to help across the board. You know, so
Definitely,
yeah, we've got quite a few plans for James House.
And tell me, if people would like to come help out or maybe sponsor, what are the type of things that you guys would need at James House?
So we're always in need of financial assistance, of course, to run the
Yes.
different projects.
Yes.
But because we've got other activities that we run as well, so we would require if you want to donate anything of some sort, you can just get in contact with us either via the email that
Yes,
I've just mentioned,
definitely.
or you can phone us on 021
Yes.
790 5616, and then we can advise you because we've got a needs list that we
Yes.
have. Then you can
Okay.
just forward that to whoever that wants to be part of what we do.
Okay, Sia. So tell me, how long have you been with the organization now?
So I've been with James House for 4 years now.
4 years.
Yes.
And I can imagine that your journey, it hasn't been easy, but you've also learned
Of course.
through the
Yes.
journey. And it inspired you as well.
Yes.
And what skills have you learned at James House?
Look, James House is not just like any other organization. It's
Yes.
a kind of a special organization
Okay.
because you do what you love.
Yes.
Because what we always say, we plant a seed, and then it's so fulfilling when you watch that seed growing
Grow.
up into
Wow.
something. So that's what inspired me from working for James House.
Thank you so, so much. So for those who are watching and for the sponsors, businesses, communities, as we've all listened to Sia and we have listened more in depth about James House, if you have a passion to volunteer and to be part of James House, please do find them on all social media accounts. And for those who have just tuned in, stay tuned. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back on Open Studio with my lovely guest Sia, who will be telling us more in detail as we've touched earlier about the volunteers. So we'll be going more into detail about what's to come for the James House. So Sia, as you've told me earlier about the volunteers and things like that, can you tell me more about your fundraising and where will it be and all of that information?
Of course. So as we all know that in an NGO sector, it's always not easy
Yes.
to run operations or to raise funds because there's lots of NGOs out there that
That's true.
always looking for opportunities to run their projects. So we've got a few initiatives that we have at James
Okay.
House. One, last week on Friday, we newly opened our coffee shop.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, so yeah, you can come and have a
That's good.
cuppa if you
Nice.
wish to.
Yes.
So it opens from Monday to Friday from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock.
Yes.
So on Saturdays it opens from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So we also have a campaign that's going on
Yes.
social media. So it's called the Happy Child campaign,
Okay.
focusing on a girl child.
Okay.
As you know, what has happened in our country recently, murdering of
That's
children
true,
and
yes.
all that. So we've got this campaign whereby we want to make noise. We want to put it out there and people have conversation about it.
Yes, yes.
So we also have got a fundraiser that's coming up. It's an exhibition which will be happening in the KNext Gallery on the 29th of November.
Yes.
So KNext Gallery is in town, but all the information is on our social media
Okay.
handles. Yeah. So we also have got our charity shop that we
Yes.
have in James House, whereby we sell second-hand shops as means of fundraising.
Oh.
So our clothes is it's really cheap.
Okay. It's, yeah.
Items goes for 5 rands, 10 rands.
Wow, for
yeah,
5
Yeah.
rand.
So,
Okay.
but we urge the community, wherever you are, just to
Yes.
empty your wardrobe, the things that you're not
And bring it.
using, and please bring it to us, and then we'll
Yes.
make good use of it.
And where is the shop?
So the shop is based in James House.
In James
Yes,
House. Oh, so
we
it's-
are at number 6 Riverside Terrace
Okay,
in
yes.
Hout Bay. So,
And tell me, any fundraisers within the next month or so?
so it's the one that I've just said
Yes,
now,
yeah.
which is called the exhibition.
Yes.
It's in the KNext Gallery in the
Yes.
Gardens. It's 115 Harrington Street.
Oh,
So
Harrington.
yes, it's on the 29th of November.
Yes.
It starts 5:30 until 8:30.
And for the viewers out there, for those who are interested in coming and volunteering or maybe even helping out at your fundraisers, do we need to have some sort of skill? What do we need if we would like to come on board and come help and show support?
So in James House, we've got a strict procedure for
Okay.
volunteers
Okay.
because of the Children's Act.
Yes.
We don't just allow any volunteers. So our volunteers go through a screening process
Yes.
whereby you will have to go through a police clearance process. And then we also require your CV, obviously,
Okay,
to see what
definitely.
skills you have. So we don't want to degrade people. We always want to them to use the skills that they have. So if you do want to volunteer, you're more than welcome to drop me a line. It's sia@jameshouse.org.za, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, interesting. And tell me more in depth about the type of donations that you need. So it's not only clothes, I'm sure there's some food parcels. What,
Yes.
what other donations?
So of course, we always need food for food
Yes.
parcels.
Yes.
Because most of our families that we look after, it's people that are not working. It's
Okay.
because we're working with disadvantaged communities. So we're always looking for donations for food parcels. For example, we do get some food from
Yes.
different institutions, but it's always not enough. So that is
Oh.
our biggest challenge at the moment.
So food is the main thing that
Yes.
is in dying need.
Yes.
Okay, I understand fully. And if the donators would like to come, so do they need to email you, or can they just come to the James House?
They can just come to James House, but I would prefer for them to give us a call, and then we'll take it from there. But they are more than welcome to just come and drop off whatever that they want to donate.
To donate,
Yeah.
thank you. And for those mothers whose children are in need of your grooming, how do we go about it? By contacting you, or is there a form that needs to be filled in?
So you'll have to contact us, or you
Yes.
can just walk into James House, and then we can assist you accordingly.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. So for those who are interested in following Open Studio, if you can check it out, it is there, Open Studio. Follow us and get more information, not only about the James House, but many organizations out there who are in dying need of not only clothing, but financial donations, food parcels, and many other things, as well as supporting the fundraisers. And for those of you who are interested in volunteering, I urge you to please contact the James House and many other organizations who are in dying need of not only your skills and your motivation, but to come on board and help the James House, and stay in contact with Open Studio if you do need any further information. So thank you for tuning in with my lovely guest, Sia, on Open Studio.